How's it going, my friends? What's up? People of Instagram, how's it going? Good morning. This is your friend, Jose Trujillo. Another day, another morning. Just showing up, doing the thing. I want to talk to you this morning about doubt. Early in the morning, talking about doubt, baby. What do you do when you start doubting? You know, or maybe you're always doubting. Who knows? Maybe you get into this gig, whatever it is. Whether you're an artist or you're I don't know, you started yoga or you started an art business, whatever it is. You're trying to grow your Instagram account. What do you do if you start doubting? What do you do with doubt? So I think it's a very interesting concept because what I've personally learned is that you don't really see change until much later on. You don't really see return on your investment, whatever it is. I think of anything as a field. And so, like if I'm gonna I don't know, plant corn or some shit like that. Everything to me is like a field. Anything, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's Instagram, it's a field. People say, well, you just put some cool photos and it's bullshit. It's a field, right? You have to plant, you have to prepare the soil, you have to on, and then when you reap, it takes time. It takes a lot of time to start reaping benefits. What I've learned is that it takes time. It takes time. And so one of the things that I do personally in order to kind of go through the rough times, go through the sour times, go through the man, I don't even know what I'm doing. Why am I even doing this? All those feelings. I keep working on this and it's not working. I don't even know when this is going to. One of the things that I do is I remind myself, you're not going to see fruits. You're not going to see anything really until 2, 3, more likely 5 years later. You're going to start seeing some real fruits. And so every day it's just me showing up, understanding that. And so I'm not looking for fruits. That's one of the things that keeps me moving, is that I'm not looking for fruits every day. It's almost like when people go to the gym for the first, 2 weeks, and then they start checking out their biceps, right? It's impossible. It's like, if anything, you're sorry about that, my friends. I had to pick up that phone call. That was loud. It was loud as fuck. And so like, what do you do when you're showing up every single day, and maybe you've been doing it for a year or two. I don't know. Maybe you're trying to learn how to paint. Maybe you're trying to sell your artwork on Etsy or eBay, your website or whatever, and shit's just not working. It's just not working, and you keep trying, and it's just not working. And sometimes you see change, sometimes you see a little something go your way, but then it just goes back to your flat line. There's always a flat line you fall back to. And you get a commission, or you get 2 commissions the same week, and then you go back to your flat line. And you're like, man, like, this is just not, it's not consistent, it's just not, it's not working. It's like starting a machine that it just just does the whole and then turns off, and then crank it up again. It just looks like it's going to turn on, and it turns off like an old car or something like that. And so the very first thing that starts popping in is doubt. Start doubting whatever it is that you're doing. And then you feel like the stuff that you're doing is just, not only you're doubting it, you feel like you're wasting your time and you're wasting your energy and you should have put it somewhere else. But anywhere else you go to, you're going to have to pay the same price. Right? It's the same price to pay. It's a field. It's a waiting game. Not waiting as in sitting there, but waiting as in working and getting nothing out of it for a long period of time. Working on it. And it's a bit of a mind fuck because whether you work a little bit or you work a lot, you get nothing out of it for a long time. And depending on what the price is for that field, if it's Instagram, there's a certain price. If it's learning how to paint, it's a certain price. If it's selling your artwork, it's another price, and on and on. It's a price you have to pay. So whether you work very hard at it, if you're like, man, I'm just gonna work on it, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 hours a day, fuck it, I'm gonna work on it all this time, and every day, whether you're working 30 minutes or 10 hours a day, it ain't gonna give you anything back for a while, and it's going to show you nothing. Whether you're doing 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or 10 hours a day, it'll show you nothing. It'll feel the same way. Some of the fields, I call them fields, right? Any platform or anything you're trying to, any goal you're trying to conquering goals. Any goal you're trying to achieve or whatever, it's or whatever. I call it a field. It'll show you the same thing. Any field. It won't show you results. What do? You've been at it for years, maybe. Maybe you've been at it for months. Maybe you've been at it for decades. And you're like, man, this thing, my career is just not working. I've been at it for, I don't know, a decade, 2 decades, and it's not working. And no matter what I do, it seems to just not work. What can I do? I'm beginning to lose hope. I'm beginning to lose trust in myself. I don't feel like this is going to work. All those questions, all those things that go through our minds. You wake up and you're like, man, I'm gonna really do this. By the end of the day, you're like, man, what a waste of my day. I should have done something else. Or is this even gonna work? And you go through it. It's a revolving thing. You go through it every single day. Every single day it feels the same way. It's almost like you have to resell yourself back into it. You convince yourself out of it, and then you have to go back to it. You convince yourself out, and then it's like this revolving thing over and over. What do? Your parents, your friends are telling you to get a real job. Maybe your spouse, maybe the person you're sleeping with keeps looking at you like, dude, is this shit really gonna work? Maybe we should, planning to have kids, or I don't know, buying a bigger place or whatever. And you feel like this almost dissolution between your career and the reality, the supposed reality, whatever that is. Well, I want to tell you something. Okay, after giving you all the examples of bad news. Any of those fields, I believe, any of those platforms or places or whatever, take years for it to start working. It's very rare that it starts working in a couple of months. It's not a diet. It takes years for it to really start moving, and it takes your consistency, the consistency that you've been doing. Whether you do a little bit or you do a lot, it's going to take years for it to start showing something. If you do a lot, the return's probably going to be greater, more than likely, right, than if you do a little bit. It's like, that's why I call it a field. It's like planting corn or tomatoes or whatever. Whether you plant one or you plant 1,000 tomatoes, it's going to take the same time for the tomato to come out of the soil. It's going to take the same time. It don't matter whether you plant one or you plant 1,000. And so if you feel like giving up, if you feel doubtful, if you feel like, why am I even doing this? I'm not telling you not to feel that way. Those are very normal feelings. I'm trying to remind you, in case you've forgotten, it takes time, my friends. It takes time. It takes time to make any of that work. When I started my Etsy account, I wasn't really working at it. I was just kind of putting something here and there, a painting, a drawing here and there. And then we started doing it more consistent. It wasn't until we started doing it consistent, without getting anything out of it, that we started seeing a little bit more movement. People asking questions, how much is this? Or if I buy this 2, would you lower the shipping? Or this or that? Or if I buy 3, can you do me a discount? Or stuff like that, right? Questions that buyers ask. It wasn't until a year and a half, probably about close to 2 years, that I started seeing sales. And they're still not every day. There's not like, oh my God, I'm selling so much every day. It took time. It took time. And I know that if I want sales every day the way that I want them, it's going to take more time. Like it just is. Now, I'm not talking about you open the store and you sit there and you wait that's not how this works. It's you open it and you work on it every day, a little bit every day, whatever it is. But it takes time. I know I'm stating the obvious, but I understand that. I know I'm not sharing with you some magic bullet or a secret formula. There isn't any. People try to sell these secret formulas all the time. There isn't any. The only real secret there is that some people can go for extended periods of time not getting anything out of it, and some people can't. And if you go through extended periods of time of quote unquote discomfort, pain, or whatever that is, you're the one who starts getting paid for it. That's what I've learned. If you're able to pull this off, whatever it is that you want, you're trying to learn how to paint or sell your artwork or open your gallery, whatever it is, the key is to go for an extended period of time of discomfort. That's the key. This is why most people lose it. This is why most people say they feel like it's not going to work. Right here. This is why people say this is not going to work. Of course not. Because it doesn't work for a few years. It's just pain. I'll leave you with that. Stay in the game, my friends. It's the only way to get through. Take care.